we
We're
rolling?
We're lightless.
Hey, man.
Oh, we're rolling. Okay.
It's actually already happening.
Hey, what's up, cheaters? Welcome back to the Cheat Day Show.
Oh,
My name
cheaters.
is Ryan Reiss. I am joined today by Mehran.
Hi. Cheating.
Also on tech, we got John Vogel. And our special guest today is Moses Storm, comedian, actor, writer, performer.
Everything.
Just done everything.
He's quite busy being everything, including injured.
Yeah.
Right?
Incredibly injured.
Why are you so injured?
Well, this is a hand injury from, we were on set, and one of the sets that they built, the gag, it's a Hotep escape room.
Okay.
So, and I'm the only white guy on this show, coming to Hulu. A sign fell on me just during the rehearsal. A big wooden sign that said Hotep fell on me.
How big a sign?
This would be great for the listeners, but I would say as big as that entire mirror.
That entire mirror. Okay, so
Mirror.
what he is pointing at is like a 10-foot by 5-foot,
Yeah.
or 4-foot mirror.
We
I
got,
guess-
we
I guess
got,
that's what
video,
you were
we got
asking for.
video.
I hear that, but like it's
What do you describe it?
I brought a
for the
clip.
blind. The blind also listen to
Yeah.
our show.
And then they put the sign back up. And if this happened in a sketch, you'd be like, oh, that's too heavy-handed. They put the sign back up. After I was told that it was, we put reinforced Velcro on that. Then they finally put it in with screws. And then the next rehearsal, they just the metal P from the Hotep sign fell on me.
Again?
Yes.
Did anyone else get injured on this set?
Not at all. So that was just the one.
Did anyone give a shit?
Yeah, you have to fill out an incident report, and like a representative from SAG comes, and you like fill out like essentially a police report, but with the
SAG has never
cops.
done jack shit for me. I'm just putting that out into
Yeah.
the universe. So someone actually showed up?
Yeah, but it was a lot of pulling teeth to get there.
Okay.
And, the SAG rep is there to represent actors, so if you do have an issue of like, hey, I'm being bullied on this set,
Yeah.
I'm being harassed, or they're just not respecting our lunch hour.
But you had a real injury, so they were confused?
Yes.
They're like, we
They're
don't,
like, we don't do
sorry.
this.
I mean, but emotionally, you're okay. Oh,
Usually I deal with actors that complain there's not enough light on them, so we don't know how to handle this, which is the thing that happens all the time. But our SAG rep is very awkward, to the point where I don't feel comfortable actually expressing myself to him if there's ever an issue.
What's he like?
He's got the most awkward energy where he's just like constantly apologizing for his existence.
Okay, that's fine.
Right, like completely uncomfortable in his body. And this is someone you should be able to confide in. And he only comes out when we're on location. And he never pulls us aside. He shouts over the entire video village where all the directors and producers hang out. And it's like, if you guys have any issues, you let me know. And I'm sorry, I'm live. And just, is everything good today? So you don't feel comfortable complaining or airing any grievances because it's not anonymous.
This is going to sound crazy, but it sounds like he would benefit from like a Dom.
Yeah.
Can you give him Dom energy?
A what? A what?
Like Dom energy.
Yes. Yes, he definitely needs that.
Can you do that?
Or just to watch
have
those
it
like
in you?
weird alpha male TikToks about like how to be an alpha male.
Do you need? I'm saying like it's not that he isn't an alpha man. I'm saying would you ever alpha him into being the man you need?
I alpha him into being a dom?
Yeah. No.
Oh,
You
I don't know
Dom
how you
him
could.
into
Okay.
just doing things for you.
Yeah. I don't think I have that in me.
I would
also be apologizing for the whip. Ask him if he wants to try different sizes of the whip.
Now when
I
you
mean,
got
he's the only white guy on the show. He can't say anything.
I
He's got to be like, thank you,
know,
thank
I
you.
know.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
was it this is for the show that you were doing the Imhotep thing?
Yes, this is This
Okay.
is for the
Are
show.
we allowed to talk about the show?
I don't know.
That's
weird.
weird.
I think we should say the name
As
the
another
more
sign
shit
falls on
talking-
him.
I know, right?
God, they're everywhere.
Yeah, I think the more shit talking we get, the less we should say the name.
Well, I'm fascinated. Well, I mean, I think we need to me and Mayra know a little bit about your background.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Who the fuck? Okay, so
And you talk about it in your act.
one, Moses Storm.
Yeah.
Real name?
Absolutely real name.
Unbelievable.
And you'd think it would be helpful in comedy, but it is already of like, oh, fuck, what are you trying here when you get on stage?
Right.
It does sound like, oh, that's a great stage name. That's memorable. But it's not a good name if you really get down to it. Sometimes people say it's a good name, and they just mean like, oh, it's different. Like when you get a haircut, it's like, oh, that looks good. It's two unusuals. You should have one unusual name and then one very bland.
Do you have a
vanilla
whole
name.
bit about it? About like Moses Storm actually being your name? Because it's such a comedian
Not
thing.
this.
Do you
Not
want,
just
do you
like
want to
what I
write that bit
really
right
feel.
now?
Yeah,
Be like,
right.
yeah, people think it's a stage name, and it is. It's not the first one I had. The first one was Mark Drizzle.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's not
No,
bad,
it's bad.
Ryan.
It's bad.
I like it. There's something, the
Moses
leaning
Storm.
into the
Originally, my
terrible.
mom wanted me to be a weatherman.
Yeah, see,
That's
that's that's
awful. That's diarrhea
clean.
inside.
That is clean comedy. So I do feel like I'm always digging myself out of it. When I did the special, I made sure to not make any jokes about like my name is weird and like let's just get over it.
Oh, you didn't want to. You didn't want to do
energy.
the with the basic first comedian's joke, where it's like, my name's this because my mom's this and my dad's this.
Yeah.
What is your mom and what is your dad?
My dad's Catholic and my mom is half crazy.
I thought you were going to go Korean. I thought you were half Korean.
Polish Jews and then Catholic.
Polish Jew and Catholic. Which side is the Polish Jew? Mama?
My dad.
Dad. Okay,
Yeah.
so not halakhically Jewish.
Right, right, because you have to pass through
A
Jew
Jewish
to be considered.
vagina, yeah.
I'm Jewish enough where I was able to go on birthright.
Labia
You went on board?
minora.
What?
Yeah,
Was that just a free trip? Was that just
It
a free
is.
trip?
I mean,
know,
it
but
is.
I mean, honestly.
everyone is scamming everyone on that trip. The whole purpose of it, why you get a free trip. So people don't know birthright is for Jews. You get a free trip if you're like in your late teens or early 20s. You go with it's literally 20 guys, 20 girls, and you go on a series of first dates all day. Oh. Like whitewater rafting. We're
Because
hiking.
they want the Jewish people to have
to
kids.
breed,
Yeah.
of
Yes.
course.
And the whole goal is essentially to get more Jews there than there are Palestinians. So they'll say like, oh, after this trip, if you meet your husband or wife, then we will pay for your wedding. And we'll help you
Jesus
move out here. We'll
H.
pay
Hey, now.
taxes. So
We'll
it
pay
is
your
a fuck
taxes?
trip. Yeah. We'll pay like whatever fees that are associated with like
Your move
what
or
would it
whatever?
mean? Yeah.
Jesus
I'm
H.
unclear on the specifics, but it is basically a fuck trip with a lot of propaganda in there too. It's a very one-sided story.
Do you like the goal is to lose your virginity on a pile of brochures? I imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's the goal.
Just some Jewish guy being like, oh, this bed is soft. Come on over, kids.
Yeah, you're staying in a kibbutz. They do like a wink, wink, like you shouldn't drink at night, but then they also drop you off in town if you want to pick anything up at 7 p.m.
Wild.
And then, so it's such a fuck trip that even this kid, won't say his name, but the overweight kid with a neck towel from Staten
was
Island,
Mehran.
even
His
he
name
got
was
laid. The guy with the neck towel, he got laid. So you know that level of overweight where you just have to carry a towel at
That's
all
literally
times?
me.
It just sounds like an old
literally
Jewish
sweat
guy
that much.
faking youth.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I'm 15.
I sweat like I'm 15.
You have a towel around your neck when you eat. I schwitz a little.
Okay, so you do birthright.
Yeah.
I want to go back a little bit further. So you got a Catholic mama.
Yeah.
You got a Polish Jewish dad. Right.
But was not raised in any of those. So
What
before
were you
I was
raised in?
born,
Yeah.
before I was born, they had started their own religion. Yeah, yeah, pretty extreme one. It was a doomsday cult. So without exaggerating, we always felt like God was going to return, and all of Revelation, the most fucked up shit.
the
Was gonna
Book of Revelation.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, we all know is like hugely
for
discredited.
horsemen.
It's on my to read list.
No. I mean, like, I care a lot about the Book of Revelation.
I know. You
It's
just got
incre-
so happy.
I
when
did.
You,
I got
when you
super
heard,
happy.
When you heard
Yeah.
cult, your eyes lit up.
It is one, love a cult, and I'm obviously going to pry a lot.
Yeah.
But the Book of Revelation has just been disproven over and over again that it was like added under false pretenses about 150 years after all the other Gospels. It's just a disaster of a book that's like a hallucinatory rant.
The reason that you know, that's a great way to put it. The reason that you know so much about it is that because the first time you heard about it or read it, you were shook personally of like, oh, this is so terrifying.
Well,
that-
it's beautiful. It's very flowery writing for the end of the world. Like, I saw a beast rising from the heavens with 10 horns and 7 heads and a blasphemous name carved upon its head. It's like, it's really,
Oh, God.
it's quite a, like, I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautifully written, but it turns out just entirely kind of like deluded, crazy schizo.
I 100%.
Without a basis.
You're
in
saying
something.
a religion would lie?
No, but like
don't.
it has no like it doesn't stick. Like it doesn't really stick as far
I
as
remember
I-
having a lot of anxiety around it and 100% believing, as a matter of fact, no metaphor, until I was maybe 16 and a half, that I fully believed that this was going to happen. Always within the course of like 3 months. We were always on edge growing up that like it's all going to end in 3 months in a terrible way.
So
But never set a date. They were never stupid enough to be like, on June 21st.
this is so deep. Okay, so how
So
many
where do you
sibs?
live when you're in a doomsday cult? Like, are
Real-
you on the move?
real?
Or are you in a
They
cave? What's
got
going
a
on?
old Greyhound bus, like a fully operational bus that they traded some junk in the backyard for, which is how my mom tells it. And she's like, "Oh, it's the '90s. Everyone was trading them," and like that explains it. And they ripped the seats out of it, and they converted it into our home, but not well. Like it wasn't like the HGTV show types of conversions where it's like,
Yeah, it wasn't a tour
kitchen
bus with
backsplash
bunks
and
and
plumbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was no
Little organizational cabinets, little
None of that.
baskets.
I
you know.
mean, I do feel like we just pitched a new home makeover show.
yeah.
Are you
fix
ready
my
for the
cult
apocalypse?
bus. Yeah. Apoca bus.
Doomsday on Wheels.
I
Yeah.
love Doomsday on Wheels. This is amazing. How many siblings? Just dead curious.
4 siblings, so 5 of us total.
Wow.
And then mom and dad, so there's 7 of us jammed into a bus, which is, oh boy, does that feel small pretty quick.
Wow.
And it took them about
Your whole life, as far as
until I was 10. The cult and the religion fell apart at the same times that my parents' relationship fell apart.
this is amazing.
Yeah.
As in their system of beliefs collapsed with a divorce.
Yeah.
Which
They
really
couldn't
does,
even keep it
which
together
does
for the
not
cult.
lend-
No,
I was
I
gonna
know,
say,
right?
on.
Let's say face. We're on the brochure.
I mean, just looking at each other like, do you even believe in the end of the world anymore?
But you kept sort of like carrying this fear. You're saying if the
Oh,
cult
yeah.
fell apart at 10, now you're 16 and a half and it's still scaring
Yeah.
the piss out of you.
Absolutely, because I mean we were pretty extreme. So I've never been to school in my life. I learned how to read and write at probably at 18 / I'm still learning now,
Holy shit.
which makes like table reads for shows incredibly embarrassing. Constantly fumbling through things and ruining jokes. Especially if you're on like a Mike Schur show or anything where they take jokes like very serious in the timing and like get it right. You can't be like sounding out Dr. Fart Helicopter or whatever. So we'd street preach. We would take large neon signs that we had self-made, and we would go out to public areas and we would yell at people. Like we would be in Times Square, or you go outside of like a Coachella type of music festival and tell people that they're going to hell and it's about to end.
Yes. And you participated in that.
Yeah, it was
really
more
good.
powerful. The younger the kid is that can witness for God, the more powerful it is. So
Well, yeah, and it's
2
hard to
years old.
retaliate against a little person. You know what I mean? No. I do a lot of abortion shows and
Right.
stuff, and like I get people threaten to kill me.
I mean,
but if it's like some old,
is that
fart,
really
I'll-
the time for a comedy show?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
like-
I love it. They do.
You walk right out of the room and you're like, and where are you from?
It's not that big a deal, but
Got another walkout. Yeah.
and it's the fetus.
It's the fetus.
I love that. But no, when it's like some craggy old man who's like telling you you're going to die, you have no problem being like, "Let me tell you something, loser." Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you have no problem just like dunking on them. But when it's a kid, what are you going to say to a fucking kid?
Yeah, people. There were people that would get very angry. So the idea was like we were made to like even in something if we're in a Walmart, it's like go witness to that lady, and they're just like terrified, 2 years old, be like you're headed for hell.
Oh my god!
Now, and initially, people's guards are down. If a child approaches you, usually they're hiding behind their mom's knee. You never, they're so shy. So if a kid comes up to you, your heart is open. You're like, "Hi, how old are you?"
Yeah.
And then just immediately didn't even fully know what it meant. Like you're
You
headed
come
for
in with
hell.
the horror, right?
Yeah. So most of the time when we were on the street yelling at people, other parents or other adults would come and yell at my mom, like, "How could you do this to your kids?
Sure.
What's wrong with you?"
I would do that.
Why aren't they in school? They don't even know what they're saying. So people got very angry.
I had a terrible childhood.
Yeah?
Carted around like war, Iranian Revolution. My parents took me back during the height of the Iran-Iraq War. I was abused for starting at the age of 3. All this crazy shit. But the amount of sympathy and love that I have for you just sharing that, I want you to know. I'm just putting that out there right now. I know it's a comedy podcast, but I'm just saying
thank
I
you.
love
Yeah.
you. That had to be fucking awful.
Yeah.
So then when does it turn funny?
I don't know. I'm trying right now. It is a thing where it wasn't a huge deal growing up because it's just this thing that your parents do. And if you don't know anything different, you're not missing anything. It's not like I wish I was back in elementary school. So it was just this thing my parents did. And it wasn't a huge deal until I left and had to become an adult.
But what do you do when your parents are like, the religion thing, we're done? Like when they just wrap up the cult and you know what I mean?
It was a very slow sizzle or like fading away. It was not just like one day, oh, we were wrong. Now if you talk to them... If you talk to them now, 17 years after it all blew up, then they're like, oh, yeah, our 20s were crazy.
What? But no, 20s are crazy.
But it's like gaslighting. It's like, no, having dreadlocks and like going to Cabo, that's crazy.
I smoked weed in my 20s.
Right.
No, I started a cult and we lived on a bus.
Well, I mean, like, you know, they showed some initiative. I'm actually not so mad at it. What's your relationship? What are they like now? Do you have a relationship with them?
From a pretty early age, I realized that they didn't have it. Like, they don't got it.
Yeah.
This was never a support system. So now, for the longest time, it's just this very business-like relationship.
Okay.
Very professional. I would never go to them if I was proud of something of like, hey, did the seller, it was great. Or if I was in a crisis, I would never reach out.
Same.
There's there's nothing there. And it's not even something I miss. It's just
What about
like,
your
that
siblings?
doesn't exist. They have that with my parents. I had the benefit of
Do you
being
still talk to them and
younger.
stuff?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would talk to everyone. I mean, it's just I could not talk to them for a month, and then you just pick up where you left off because we've been through so many extreme things pretty young that the bonding it'll never go away.
Of course. Like, who else has like a bite of that story? I don't.
Who got the
Ryan
bus?
doesn't.
No, I no.
Are you
Okay.
sure? Yeah, he comes from like sterile white people. God
Oh,
bless
just
them.
stop.
No, I mean, I don't mean sterile. I don't mean I'm not saying their balls don't work. They're all incredibly fertile. They are a fecund bunch. I'm saying that it's not a bus waiting for the devil to reappear.
Yeah.
No,
and swallow us all.
That's
You
true.
asked who got the
Right.
bus. The bus is a salacious fact that my mom loves to put in my dad's face. So when they divorced, there was obviously it was a very hostile divorce. It was the most messiest divorce ever with shit talking and almost like pranks on them. There's breaking and entering. It was the messiest divorce you could imagine.
I love him.
Like screaming matches in public, like gotcha moments, like cheaters, where he would like show up to a nightclub that my mom was at. So in the divorce, in the actual paperwork, and my mom loves this so much. My mom got custody of all 5 of the kids, provided that my dad get custody of the bus.
He had to.
He had to have the bus. That's the appropriate response. Yeah, like it's in paperwork. It had to be passed through like Florida, a judge. Who seemed
all
the
right.
most
We got
insane
food
shit.
coming in.
Oh my
here.
God.
This
Yeah.
is
Wait,
Chef
what?
Raph is coming over. We have
Come
we're
on.
plating some food here. I'm not entirely
Come
sure,
on.
Right.
but this is your cheat day, Mr.
Oh my
Moses.
God, I have not eaten yet either today. So
Neither
this is
have I.
great.
I've been waiting. Okay, wait a second. So, real quick, Moses, we're going to talk a ton.
Pause, but food's here.
Pause. So, yeah, you're eating, real quick, what is your cheat day meal? What is the thing that you eat when you want to be naughty and decadent?
Well, this
and
kind of
wonderful?
explains a lot based on where I come from. But it's I said salmon in my initial thing.
Yeah.
Mint ice cream, and then something else I'm forgetting.
Scallion pancakes?
Now, salmon is not scallions is not a cheat food by any means.
Yeah.
It is the healthiest of all the meats, highest protein, lowest fat, which points back to the religion of like there's a lot of guilt in everything. So
Okay.
it's not even something I really enjoy. It's just the best thing because I feel the emotional attachment to food and being able to treat yourself and
This
have
is
nice
you
things.
being treated. So, this is you being spoiled.
Because you
Okay.
can feel okay with
Don't
that.
blame us because you hate yourself.
I know.
Son of a bitch. We asked you what you wanted to eat.
We're gonna get
fish. What do you want?
This
Right
is the
now
most
we-
inappropriate meal I've ever seen.
We have Chef Raph with us. Hi, Chef Raph.
But this looks actually
Hey, how
very
you guys
good.
doing?
So yeah, what'd you make? him?
Yeah. So I can tell you a little bit about this.
Oh, it looks phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a very pretty plate.
Yeah. So we have kind of like a Chinese style sandwich. I don't know if that's really the best way to put it.
Yes.
So we got some glazed salmon with it's got kind of like a sweet chili glaze on it.
Yes.
It's been grilled,
Yeah?
as you said. Grilled
Yeah, that's the
salmon.
way to do it because you get the little bit of crispiness on
Right?
the top.
And then we have, I mean, it's kind of like all over the wonderful Asian countries. We have like a kimchi slaw on top, a little bit of spicy mayo, and then some crispy garlic, a couple of scallions, cilantro, and then it's served on a scallion pancake.
The crispiness that's doing it for me because fish is a very slimy, sort of like wet thing. So you have that nice dichotomy between that.
Should I be waiting to eat?
No,
or should
go
I
ahead,
just
go
shove it in
ahead. So my
shove it in
question is, though,
gator?
if the world was ending tomorrow, is this the last meal?
Yeah, because I'd be like, oh, maybe God will accept me because what if they were wrong? It never goes away. They're like, they could be 10% right.
Is it gonna
But
break?
you scammed the Jews to go on birthright.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping to stay together,
Wait,
but
wait.
you know, we got a fork and a knife, so.
I didn't mean to. I just
I got it.
I unplugged it. My penis. Oh, okay. I guess the mics are back on.
I think you have another plate.
Plastic.
Amazing.
What? Are you not going to eat it, Ryan?
Well, there's a plate. There's another plate behind you.
What am I supposed to do?
Nothing.
Use my giant.
Nothing. We'll
arm?
put it in the center. It's fair.
Has anyone complained about the sounds of eating on the podcast? Has anyone
Actually,
complained?
they
Get into
prefer it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's like
Horny for it.
Mukbang type of thing.
Yeah. It's like foot fetishists.
Oh,
Yeah. Right.
They
Yeah,
like
it's a really strange thing that people are into.
Yeah.
What's
I'd
even
say.
stranger, Chef Raff never eats his own food.
Yeah.
It always makes me feel like he poisoned it. He's always
Well.
like, look, enjoy.
The scallion pancake is fucked up good.
Fucked up good.
It's so good.
What's nice about Mehran is you never know where he's going based on his facial
Yeah,
expression. He
there was
just
so much
like,
hate at the
okay,
beginning,
and you're like,
and
oh
then-
my
That's the
god,
comedy
That's
turn.
the
Mehran's
Botox.
about to ruin the show. Let me just say this. And you're like, oh
This
god.
is fucked, but I love it.
This is
Okay, Raph. Yeah. Absolutely. With my period on. I love you.
Cheers, man.
How
I
long
love
does
you.
how long does it take to make this?
So to be honest with you guys, I have. Oh, that one's staying together.
Yeah.
Are you doing it like a
Look at that,
taco?
because this was cooked
Yes,
perfectly.
That was the point.
You got,
Obviously,
it's still
yeah.
crunchy and it still folds.
And
Yeah, you used like fork and knife and you did it like a human. I like
Well,
mauled
I'm
mine.
very aware of the video element of the show.
That looks
he's
like
blocking
better,
it
that
all
looks
while he
better
eats.
that way. Like I'll serve it like that next
It's
time.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to fold?
So I mean, I actually have like a tasting menu dinner tonight. So,
Okay.
and I kind of am like in between kitchens right now, which sucks. So I was
What does that
prepping.
mean?
So I'm like moving into another kitchen. So
What happened in the old kitchen?
it's
Yeah.
just there's like some insurance stuff, which you know it just happens, whatever. But yeah, so I don't have it for a couple days. So I was basically just prepping all night with one of my best friends. He lives in Queens. So yeah, I was doing the tasting menus, like 10 courses on it, and then just doing this. So basically left there and came straight here.
This is
So-
love.
Fucked up good.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
That's the
fucked
only
up
way to
good.
describe it.
Thank you. Yeah,
Very
I'm-
good.
really and truly
I've never had
good.
salmon taste like this, where
Yeah,
it
I'm
actually
pretty proud
tastes
of
like
this
a
one.
food that you would enjoy.
Yeah.
Usually it's the self-lashing of like, I'm being healthy.
Oh,
Well, you
good.
have to be
It
nude
feels
for
like you're
some-
going to hell. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and I have to be nude.
Great.
I have to be nude tomorrow for a scene. So
Really? How
this is
nude?
there's a nudity rider. So basically butt naked, but then I put my dick and balls in like a cock sock. They call it a heboo. And
Heboo?
then yeah.
He's taping a Hulu show.
Hebrew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they just sent it to me while we're sitting here. It's a nudity rider of everything you can. Because everything.
Oh, please tell me about
Okay.
the nudity rider.
So people always think like, oh, do you ever get hard doing a acting scene? Like if you have like a sex scene.
Have you done
They-
sex
yes.
scenes before?
Yes. And people always ask
Interesting.
like, oh, did you ever get like hard? It's so calculated, it's so mathematical, and everything has gone through agencies and lawyers and nudity clauses that by the time you're actually doing it, you're thinking about every step. The hand is allowed to go on the butt, then the chest, then you push down. It's not the same feeling you're feeling when you're having sex and
Yeah.
you're just in the moment. Like this feels good. You're saying like this.
Do you have to blow your scene partner?
I do, but they won't be rolling for
He doesn't
that.
have to. It's a perk of the
Why they're
job.
not rolling for that is going to be upsetting. But then just the director's like, I'm an auteur. I need to see this. Do a shot.
I mean,
tour.
Let me see.
going off what you
said.
said though, you're gonna blow a soft penis.
Yeah.
No.
If that
No,
is-
it's with a young lady. And theirs are more
either way.
extensive because the thing is, you have to like I showed my dick in another Hulu movie. It's the thing that comes up. Like, it comes up. People actually search Moses Storm penis.
Of course they do.
And then there's screen grabs for people that have never seen the movie. It could be out of context, anything.
If my phone were in my hand.
It happens mainly with actresses. So actresses have to be incredibly safe about it because it's like, well, yeah, this is going to be on the internet out of context.
Totally.
You know?
Like your kid's going to be in the first grade. And
Right.
Like, you look at your mom's pussy.
Right, and they can edit that into anything. So yeah, out of
like
an abundance of
Thanksgiving?
caution, yes.
Like there's a Thanksgiving turkey with your mom's vagina.
Are you looking
Yeah.
for your penis right now, or are you just
Yeah, I'm looking
handling
for my
Oh,
penis.
thank God.
I was looking for
Oh,
what
you
the
don't have to-
nudity.
you don't have to show me.
Okay.
I was going to see what the.
I'll wait till I get home.
Don't play hard to get
Listen,
now.
I have a cab ride coming. I
Does
don't
anyone have an iPad? We're going to need a bigger screen.
Wow! Congratulations,
Amazing.
Doomsday Dick is big.
Aren't you happy you made time for this rap?
Doomsday guilt dick.
Yeah, it's
is-
great.
Doomsday
pretty
Dick.
big.
You missed the beginning of the show. Moses grew up on a bus in a cult that his parents started
What the fuck?
and ended
Yeah.
with a divorce, apparently.
Yeah.
Did that make it feel less like the divorce was your fault? The fact they also had a cult that fell apart. with it?
Oh, I never felt like
interesting.
I never had any remorse about the divorce. And when I meet other people that are my age that were born in the 90s, whatever, and like their biggest tragedy is that my parents are divorced, I cringe at that shit. It was two people that were yelling at each other, that hated
Yeah,
each other,
yeah,
and they're
yeah.
not going to be around each other. That's great. It was a great day. So,
So
there's no remorse of like, I wish my family was still together.
What state was this in?
A lot of Florida. We were in a
It
bus,
was
so
a
we were
bus,
trying to
dude.
move around a lot.
Yeah.
Florida, not surprised.
That was like my second guess. I was gonna say
Yeah.
Utah or
I was
Florida.
thinking Utah.
Yeah, Utah's pretty fucked.
Florida has more of like an anything goes, and they have pretty lax rules if you don't want to put your kids in school. Like, you don't have to really provide any paperwork. Other states are like, you gotta teach these motherfuckers how to read at least.
Kind of makes sense.
Wow.
Kinda
Yeah, in
makes
New York.
sense.
In New York, you have to go to school
Crocodiles
until
and
you're
dudes.
Yeah.
16.
Did your parents do drugs?
No.
Did you end up doing drugs?
Yes,
Good
bunch,
boy. Good boy.
bunch.
And did
Nice.
you think that did that liberate you some?
Oh yeah, to
Same.
find out that there's a different part of my brain that doesn't self-judge and worry, just to find out like there's another section of your brain
Yeah.
that you can access was huge.
Yeah. It snapped me out of it too.
Yeah.
Acid in a big way snapped me out
Acid
of
was
it.
the first thing I ever did before I was drunk, high,
Wow.
had a cigarette. Before I even had sex, I did acid.
Yeah, I did.
That was the very
before
first
drunk.
thing.
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody that's gone that path, but
Yeah.
Right?
It's
I
just
wouldn't
getting
recommend
tweaks.
it.
seems like you're doing well.
I
you know,
got my ass blown
Yeah.
off. I mean, it was so scary, and nothing has hit me like that
Wow.
since.
When did you do ayahuasca?
Oh
Whoa,
yeah.
you've done that? You've done that?
Of course I have.
But did you do it
How
right?
is that in
Like
a
you didn't do it in
force?
Queens. You
Do-
went.
do you know,
did you
man?
go to like and do a ceremony
I
in
did a
Yeah,
proper
no.
ceremony with a proper ayahuasquero, but I did it in Greenpoint, Brooklyn.
Whoa.
Yeah, he did.
That kind of counts as Peru.
He did. Yeah, it was. I really did approach it medicinally, and then and went to Greenpoint. They had found an isotope in ayahuasca that treated diabetes in rats and mice, but they couldn't isolate it to turn it into a medication or a drug.
Right.
So at the time, I had a morbid form of diabetes where my resting blood sugar was 600. Like I was constantly
Holy
on the
shit.
verge of diabetic coma.
Holy
so I was
shit.
like, I will try anything because insulin didn't work. And so I went and I did like the fast for a month and a half. And then
Because you have to fast before,
you have to do la dieta.
but not for a month. You just have to not have certain foods for a month, and then the 2 days before, 24 hours before.
The 2 days before, absolutely. There's no salt, no citrus, no sugar, but the entire month and a half prior to that, no fried, no red meat, no booze, no weed, no brain meds, no psych meds. Yeah,
How did-
you
how did
can't.
that
Otherwise,
work
you
out?
run the risk of neurotoxicity. It was literally when I auditioned for The Cellar. So I was having brain zaps. Like when you go off of sort of an
Lexapro.
SSRI, yeah.
Yeah.
Cold turkey, you get like literally electric shocks in your head. So I had my audition for The Cellar. I was shit nervous because it's the fucking
Yeah,
Cellar.
absolutely.
And showed up. Esty forgot that I had the audition, and then she was like, "I'll put you up anyway." And but I literally like my brain was like malfunctioning the entire time.
Were people able to tell? Because I have mine on Saturday,
one.
so I want to hear the worst story, so I feel better.
No one could tell. You go up, you do what you do. I followed two incredibly affable, clean comedians.
Oh.
You can
I
say, you
went
can
after
say who it is.
Yeah,
but-
Keith Halberstadt and Pete Lee.
And you know
Oh,
Pete Lee,
yeah, I know
Right?
Pete Lee.
Like sweethearts. And then I
Yeah.
go up there being like dicks and acid and boo. Right?
Right.
And so.
It's a nice contrast.
It was just it was nice. I mean, like, and I'm having brain zaps, and I'm nervous, yakety yak, and then we go up, and Essie's like, "You're crazy," and then I'm right. 7 years, but it's still the ayahuasca was wonderful. It was honestly incredibly healing, reparative, much more spiritual than just like taking acid in college. You know,
How long does it last?
I took 2 doses, 6 hours. Yeah, would you
Okay.
do it?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I just want to do it right. And Greenpoint would actually be right, but it's
Yeah.
actually someone guiding you through it. Because I've done DMT alone in the lockdown.
Same.
I was going through a real rough time, and I was like, well, let me just escape this part. And
Ooh.
I don't know.
So I'm going to trigger my pineal gland by myself.
Yeah, I do have a death wish. Yeah. That's why I'm like, oh, fucked up right now. It's because I was fighting soldiers for Fleet Week on stage as part of a bit.
Wow.
Because the cult is doing capoeira now to recruit people. The other two
The
families.
cult still exists.
There's one family still doing it.
I love you and the depth of your goddamn story. So this cult is still in the mix.
Yes. And it's
we get the name?
exhausting.
Maybe our listeners wanna
there's
Google
no
that.
name.
Yeah.
No name.
There's no name, which
Yeah.
like
How do you
it's.
give up on the first step?
I know.
I love.
There's no. How do you find them? How do you find them? I mean, so it was called The Way, and then a way more successful cult called The Way came along, doubled my parents' numbers immediately. They had 2, and then they just dropped the name. And we're like, well, why would we have a name? Because it was counterculture. There should be no government. There should be no pastor, rabbi, teachers, anyone. There should be no middleman between you and God.
Raph, do you want to do this with me? Do we start our own without a name? Just you.
I thought that's what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
I thought that's
We're
what
gonna start it by
this
the
is.
end.
I mean,
Well, that's-
how am I going to say no to you, man?
Yay! All right. So there's still a family that does this.
There's still one of the 3 families.
All of your siblings are out.
Oh yeah, but
Okay.
they found their own version of God, their own thing. Like my oldest sister is a devout Jehovah's Witness now.
Okay.
Who probably really got it the worst. She got the brunt of everything, being that old,
Yeah.
being that sentient when all that stuff was happening.
Yeah.
So
And
now
probably
she,
had a role in indoctrinating the younger sibs,
yeah,
right? Fuck.
Never
Yeah.
heard the word sibs before, by the way.
right.
Yeah.
So Moses, in that environment, how did you like figure out that you were funny and like
Yeah.
you like making people laugh?
There we go.
Okay, that's a good answer. It's not a good answer either. It's not like I don't know. I think I'm hyper aware of like what would sound good. If like this is my one love, and there was so much there was so much strife growing up that I was always the tension breaker, which I was. But I don't think it was a passion. It was this honest to God thing of like I really wanted to be a lawyer. At 18, when everyone's asking you like, what do you want to do? Well, you get to argue a case, and did just like online research and did like preliminary tests, and I could barely read or write. And I was like, well, it's never going to get me out of this. And we were so poor. I mean, like eating from the garbage, poor, always getting evicted for not paying our rent. So it was just the one thing. It's a very shitty answer, but it's the one thing that I could monetize and exploit about my personality and just the chemicals I was born with that would get me out of it.
I love him so much.
Dude, that's an amazing
love
story.
him.
Wow.
It is actually well, and also like
Yeah.
it's a survival mechanism, and like basically
Yeah.
every comedian at some point like we're thrust into chaos, and it's like whether you're the new kid in school, like it diffuses a myriad of tensions,
Yeah.
right? Like whether it's parents or bullies or what have you.
And then humor was a way to get in and talk to people, because we were not allowed to talk to any other kids our age or any adults, because that's how Satan gets you. It'll be like, you're having fun with this kid, right? That's
Are we
exactly
taking
what the
notes,
devil
or-
wants.
Okay.
I don't know. It just feels a little easier. Someone just telling you
Yeah.
what to do.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about tomorrow. It's not going to be there.
But,
So
but
it's
it sounds like the
just-
parents.
Well,
were
what you
also
bring up
writing-
is actually a very intelligent point.
Well,
Is
no,
that-
you don't think I've ever looked at one of those cults and been like, yeah, all right,
Yeah.
I'll be the sweeper. I just
Right?
sweep all day. It's fine. I got to call you father? Great, whatever. Like, it
Ain't
just
it-
seems easier than trying to figure out what I'm going to wear. Like, I don't want to know.
You still haven't figured
As
it out.
early as yesterday morning, I was researching a sort of self-help book that had a method, because I'm still very embarrassing looking for something. It's exhausting having no faith. If you had something to kind of explain the random moments of just human tragedy and just I don't know how scary everything is.
Where we're going.
I wish.
Yeah, it kind of seems like we're hurling.
I'm jealous of people that even buy into like the power of now. Eckhart Tolle is like, fuck, I wish. Yeah.
There's
Tony
part of-
Robbins.
So do you think that God? But do you find that you have a spiritual life that is that you still have a spiritual life, because it started out so intensely faith based, right?
Yeah.
So
And then that gets shattered. So like I believed in it until I was 16.
until you did.
So imagine you're like 12, you already start getting rock hard boners all the time, and you can't act on it, right? And then you're still like, no, because God.
you actually held yourself to that.
I would jerk off accidentally, / not really. It was so guilty that I would keep edging myself.
Wow! Congratulations.
Until something happened, and then I do miss those orgasms, the guilt religion ones. Those nothing has hit that hard.
Get it? I so
right?
get
All
it.
that guilt. Oh.
Well, and now we're inured because like we have access to the full
Yeah.
spectrum of
Right.
erotica, and it's nothing is rare or private or personal anymore. It's all just like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's all broken.
Yeah, you could
know?
watch anything, and I never had internet growing up,
That's a very good point. Yeah.
so I would draw my own erotica.
I love you. I love him.
Yeah.
life
No,
is-
that was the thing that was so fucked up is I was angry at myself because I wasn't good at drawing. So you're like rock hard, you're sexually frustrated, and you're frustrated that you're not better. Like I can't draw the nape. How do you draw a nape?
I did the same thing.
Your
I
life
don't. I
is
never realized.
so
that,
interesting.
I
Yeah.
never realized
Oh
I had
my
it so
God.
good. I never had to draw my own porn.
Did you? What did you draw? Were you good?
If I can't believe I'm about to say this out loud. So there was a Benny Hill sketch, and it was called
This is-
Wonder
yes.
Granny, and it was an old woman naked with her boobs out, and I was just so excited to see boobs. Anytime I saw boobs, so I drew like an old Wonder Woman with her tits out. And that was the first piece of erotica I ever drew, and I hid it under my parents' bed, and then I would crawl under the bed to go look at it.
I mean, that sounds great.
You have to
the
save
truth.
it because it takes so long. You know when people complain about like dial-up porn, you take forever. The amount of time it takes to draw one frame.
You
gotta
one
hide it.
image, yeah. It was a treasure. It becomes a treasure.
I think I could tap you on fucked upness.
Let's hear it.
So I was very frustrated that I didn't know what the female form looked like. I couldn't get a comic book or anything that was like
TV.
Kama Sutra. We're not allowed to go to libraries, anything. So yeah, TV. Even though we saw the OJ trial for some reason. That was yeah. I saw
Some things are truly ubiquitous.
I saw Terminator. I saw the movie Jesus of Nazareth and the OJ trial as a
Terminator.
kid.
Shit.
No other TV. I was just like very frustrated that I couldn't get the proportions right. So I found a bikini photo of my mom on Lake Michigan, and would not draw the head because like that was the line, but
Sure.
then would use that to sort of trace over and then practice on my own mommy's
That's
body.
fine. That's fine. It's the female form. It had absolutely,
Yeah.
and he decapitated her. It wasn't even stepmom. Stepmom porn is worse than what he did.
Right, but like thank God I don't have
How
any
is
of
that
that.
worse?
I don't have like a weird thing.
I'm trying to make a cult baby feel better. Are you shitting me?
Right. Like if I had what Dalia had, you'd be like, oh, I kind of get it, But I'm very fortunate, and this is what comes down to. Like, it's nothing I did. There's nothing I'm fighting or stronger. It is the chemicals you are born with in your brain that has a lot to do with how we process trauma and
Yeah.
things that happen to us. And there's not a moment of courage where I was like, no, I'm not going to look at stepmom porn or have anything weird where it's
the
like I can't
dice.
come unless you shave my pubic hair and eat it. I don't I don't have any
That's
of
next
that.
week's dish. What are you doing? You're ruining the surprise. I'm just like,
I mean, just give me a day's notice, man.
Yeah, you got it.
No
Wild.
problem.
It grows that fast.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Did you have hair
man.
pretty early? Because you have a full beard.
Wow.
I'm actually 28, and
Yeah.
I got hair
ton
on my
of pubic
face
hair?
like a year ago. Honestly,
Still something, man.
yeah.
Shit.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Wow.
I'm trying to compete with my brother. He has a luscious beard, so
When did he start growing hair?
like same time.
That's a
Yeah.
good beard. It's a respectable beard.
Wow, I'm so honored to hear that.
Yeah, you should.
From you of all people, Mehran.
Well, I don't grow facial hair. It grows ginger. I grow a red
Oh
beard
my God.
in patches. Oh, it is such a
man.
fucking mess.
So it looks like you just killed your husband in a movie, and you're like dyeing it in the bathroom of a gas station.
It looks like it does look like a farming accident. It just
That
looks
looks so
like,
wrong.
Yeah, it looks super wrong when I grow a beard.
So what do you do? So my question: are you anti-religion now? Just all religion?
No. It is like, it's embarrassing. I wish I was, but the thing that makes me angry is like people like Bill Maher. It's like, who would believe in a man in the sky? It's like, well, that's cool. That's a cool personality to have. Of course, it's stupid, but you have to understand the context of why people believe in religion.
Human
It gives you
suffering.
something to I don't know, put order to your life.
Someone to blame.
Yeah.
It's a lot
You.
of that.
You
It's a lot of that.
But I don't trust my own beliefs now. So I have tried with everything. Even gave Judaism a real good shot.
Okay.
You know, and it
You
was,
got circumcised?
yeah, I got circumcised pretty late. in
Okay.
life. Oh, which I was circumcised twice, by the way.
Oh, boy.
Why twice? Because they didn't
because
get all of
we
it?
didn't believe in hospitals.
Who did it?
Because that's how
This
Satan
bus
gets you,
was
baby.
amazing. They had
It's a
everything on this
full-service
bus.
operation.
You did it yourself when you were 6.
You go into AutoZone. Yeah, could you fix our circumcision?
AutoZone
Right.
was lovely.
No hospitals. When I broke my shin at 12, we were just like, put an ace bandage on it, because the hospitals give you drugs, and drugs would take you out of your connection with
Communion.
God. Yeah.
Fuck.
So no hospitals growing up.
Did it ever heal? Like, are you?
It's a little fucked up when I run. If I do like marathons or long distance running, yeah, I feel it.
Second question: how's your penis?
Oh, you ever microwaved a hot dog?
Yes.
Actually, yeah, I have.
No, it's fine. It happened early enough where it was just so if you don't believe in hospitals, then your option, and I don't know if this is still a thing in Ohio, you can go to a Jewish temple and you
Sure.
can have a rabbi
A moil.
do it.
A moil, yeah.
And it was this rabbi's first time doing one.
I am going to lose my mind.
Right? The curb music plays. So it was his first time doing it.
Music.
Right? Doesn't it feel like that's about to happen? Yeah.
Amazing.
There, you wanted me to cut it twice? Yeah.
Amazing.
It's like shadow boxing before he cuts. You got this. You got this.
I'm legit blissed out.
So he got halfway through, and he had too much ceremonial wine. They usually have a glass of wine right before they do it, right? You know, you have to put you in the mood. And he had too much because he was nervous because it was his first time. He was like trying to make a good impression. And then he got halfway through, and then his hand wasn't steady enough for it. So then
He needed more wine.
He needed more wine, right? So, I mean, this has all been told to me by my parents. Obviously, don't remember. I'd be screaming right now. He's like, well, you have to go to a different temple. And it's Ohio, so there's not really temples on every corner like there is here in New York. So they drive 4.5 hours to finish the rest of the job. And I don't know if it was like
With you
halfway-
bleeding from the dick, I imagine.
I'm unclear on how far he got in. I just know there was like one incision. He was like, "Oh, I can't."
Yeah, that's bleeding from the dick.
Okay. But I think if you look at it now, and like penis skin's already so fucked up, and
Is it?
I mean, with like veins and stuff, like the texture of like the moon, you know, it's not a smooth surface. I think if you had fucked up something on your cheekbone or something early on, you would see some trauma. But
You're talking to
think-
someone who's seen 1 or 2 dicks.
Oh, have you ever seen one
Today.
that's like chewed it up?
One or
I've
two. One or
seen-
two today. Let's be honest.
I think you watched this movie on Hulu where you see like.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know how it measures against
Yeah.
like the thousands that I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any damage. Like everything's there.
Good.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
There's like, oh, discoloration, but is that just like what a dick
that
does?
happens. That happens.
Have
It looks
you-
like skin
That's
color
normal.
camouflage.
That's all normal. All that's
Has
normal.
anyone you've been with ever, been like, hey,
No, not really. No, you're too late in it, and then it goes in somewhere. You get
So
to hide it
when and
immediately.
how do you get out?
I fell in love with a girl.
Okay.
But what I thought love was at 16.
Sure.
You're just like infatuated with a pretty person.
Hormones,
and
a
your
rush of
genes are
hormones.
going to explode.
Yeah.
So our cult leader came back into town. This is like well after my parents' divorce. It's kind of falling apart. My mom's still in it. And he'd always said, like, don't enter the workforce. Another way to get indoctrinated.
Wow.
Why would you get a high-paying job when the world's going to end in 3 months? So he completely gaslit my mom. He comes back in with his family, his 8 kids, and was like, "What are you doing? You're selling junk on the side of the road," because we would go through people's garbage and then sell it. Go enter the workforce, get real jobs. Like he said it like he had always said this. So then I entered the workforce for the first time at 16, or was about to turn 16, but we forged the paperwork so I could legally get a job.
Amazing.
Legally. And I got a job bagging groceries at a store. And it was the first time I was around people my age. And I got really close to this girl who was very sweet to me, just like a kind person. And then just hearing my own beliefs bounced off of her ears, someone I wanted to impress and, I don't know, cared about. Just hearing it back to myself was like, oh, no, it's not right. Oh, I was wrong.
Like
all
you're
along.
watching her face contort while you're...
Yeah, and it was never a big moment. It was just that thing of like, oh, no, that's all wrong. And yeah,
Like
it
you
was up
could
to the-
hear it wrong as it was
Yeah.
coming out of your mouth.
and I
so
just
get
knew the
that.
way that I felt about her and the way it felt in my heart, my body, and emotions about her. It didn't match up with this religion. I was like, well, that's the true thing, because I feel that. And I never felt that. So it was just that. And I
Chicks
was
make
out.
you do anything, man.
Right?
Some of the dumbest things I've done in my life have always been for a woman. Always.
He's about to pitch his Herbalife right now.
Jump
A
in.
fag would have let him run with
Are you
it. They would have
kidding
been
me?
like,
Right.
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Give me that chewed up hot dog.
I love it.
Are you kidding me? Like, anything. You know, like I'm pretty straight path. You know what I mean? You know, but if a girl's like, hey, you want some heroin? If she's good looking enough, I'm like, yeah, of course.
Right.
Why wouldn't I? Let's do it right
Do a
now.
little fentanyl. Whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Little fentanyl.
So we were just friends, but obviously I was in love with her, and I'd never said this about anyone, but I had told her multiple times that I was in love with her, and even though she was with someone else, and even though she said no, it was enough to be like, well, I got to get out.
Wow.
Yeah.
And where do you go?
Then I go. Now we're living in the desert of California. It's Palmdale. It's like 2
Palm
hours
Desert.
outside of
Where Coachella is.
No, that's the nice one.
Uh-huh.
It's they like brag about it, like this is the meth capital of the world.
Do you know where they tested the nuclear bombs?
No.
Yeah, Hiroshima. I go to Hiroshima right away.
I said tested. You don't even get Hiroshima.
That's in their defense. They were just testing it. Will this end the war? So then I go to a community college, having really no idea how to read or write, and I enroll into what they think film classes are in the desert.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like this old couple that runs the news.
They watch
and-
like First Wives Club.
Yeah. And they're teaching us like
Film.
how to edit and to make stuff, but they taught all the software with like, this is a fad. We're going to go back to analog any moment. Like
a great
begrudgingly teaching us how to use Final Cut and Premiere Pro. So I met some people in that class that were also interested in making stuff and videos, and then I moved to LA with like 2 of them as friends to be like, oh shit, maybe we could be in LA and make videos. Because like Facebook and MySpace was wrapping up. It was like Facebook and YouTube was kind of becoming a thing. So I make really bad YouTube videos. Roy Wood Jr. is a part of this group as well.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Odd.
Yeah, he's in multiple videos. We do a
Who's
movie.
so fucking funny.
So
Love that
funny,
dude.
so
Great
nice.
dude.
Yeah.
Really just...
A-plus character.
Right.
A-plus comedian.
And imagine you're some weird cult kid, and we did this thing called Facebook the movie, and he's in it, and I just got to know him through that, and I was like, it's the first like comedian I ever met. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, you do the thing that I think is cool, and he's the one that said you should get on stage for the first time, and just
That's
do
like
it.
how many years ago? That's got to be...
Oh, 2010. It was like very matter of fact of like, yeah, go to Haha Cafe, this dog shit place in the valley. And
Do you know it?
I know it. Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, you pay $5 to do
This
the
is,
mic.
this is my cult. This is... I go,
Cafe.
oh, God.
Someday you'll graduate to flappers.
Been there. I don't think they want me back.
Right?
No, you don't want
Flappers,
to be
no.
back.
Haha,
That's
I
what
can go
Wonder
back to.
Granny
Haha
had.
is-
Wonder Granny had fun.
Haha Cafe is the really bad one.
Yeah, yeah. It's like Spanish, right? It's in a...
Yeah, it's
East
like
Hollywood? Is that what-
it's on Lancashire.
And there's the Spanish Esty. There's a woman there who runs the joint I call Spanish Esty because she looks like Esty, but she's Spanish. She's Latin.
Spanish. And she puts
There's
up
a
the biggest
mole.
hat.
There's like a lacy veil.
And everyone...
The hackiest jokes that you would have ever seen happen there. Why do they call it Trojan condom? Isn't Trojan where a bunch of men snuck in? Yeah, it's all that stuff.
Wow. Honestly, I think that's a hot premise.
I was like, thanks
is
for
it bad?
remembering
But
my
I
name. That's so kind of you. I don't think anyone was watching. I feel flattered.
I'm like, there's a future in that bit.
Yeah. So I'm trying to sign up for that mic and never getting up, even though you pay. In that process, I was doing some like very dog shit acting work of is this an industrial? Is this a Scientology video? And one of
Not a Scientology video.
No, I never did one, but
Okay.
it was like adjacent to that. A woman there who was like the casting director also ran a show at the Improv that was like a scam where you take her class and then you do comedy. Mm-hmm. And I was
bringer.
like, right. It was a comedy class essentially.
Well, you do the class for 5 weeks, then you have a graduation class.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then,
I did that.
Then they bring you into the if you have 3 friends.
I never did the class. I lied to her and said I did stand up. And I'm like, oh, I'm like pretty good. So she was like, oh, yeah, because sometimes people don't do well in the class. So we'll put you up between people so you can like build the room back.
Wow.
Never stepped foot on the stage before. So I did 5 minutes there. And it was us. My friends didn't even get in. It was sold out. It was a sold out room at the Improv. And it was the first time I was on stage doing stand up. And it went well. I mean, I
Yeah.
would die if I saw that set now. It was probably the worst stand up that anyone's ever seen, but it went really well, and that was enough to be like, oh yeah, whatever it takes to feel this again, I'll do it.
Neat.
Yeah,
And then I didn't realize this, but we did Last Comic Standing together,
Yeah.
7 years ago?
yeah, so it was like pretty soon after that, 2010, and then 2005. Yeah, so then I had kind of drifted away from stand up and was doing a lot of improv.
Yeah, you
That's fine. You don't have to apologize for that.
because it was hot.
No,
Yeah.
and there is like a
Stink.
big rivalry between like the tribes
Oh,
of
yeah.
yes and no but.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? But that being said,
Have you
it's
seen this and no but? Yeah.
I actually like Second City. They used to do it in New York City. I like them a
Sure.
lot. And when they were very funny, but they were terrible with their books. And when they folded, I told some people over there, I was like, oh, I'm going to try UCB. And they're like, you're going to hate it. And I
Did you try it?
hated it because everyone there sucked, and they would wear black, and they'd be so serious about it, and they'd be like, "Well, I'm in level 5."
They
And I'm
could be
"But you
country.
suck."
They were
right
country
for Parks
sometimes.
and Rec. Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that
It was
mean,
all like rich kids.
terrible with your books.
Oh,
Money.
they couldn't handle the billing. Or,
Oh yeah,
pay
I mean
bills.
the currency was cool, and they ran out of that currency. So I worked there as an intern to pay for classes. Went all in on UCB. Did one of the house teams as well, and yeah, you pay to practice improv.
But-
Try telling that to an adult.
Wouldn't you say that it ended up being valuable to you though?
Yes, it
Right.
informs entirely what I do now.
Yeah.
There's like a kind of an unspoken function of the improv class world where it's like it's a great way for adults to build social skills if for whatever reason they don't.
Totally.
Imagine you're
A
some
lot
weird
of theater
cult kid.
kids who were too deep in, and a lot of people who either whether it was a cult or another environment like that. Because I was one of the tech guys at the Pit before I was at the Cellar. So
Got
I did intern just because I wanted to.
Michelle
like-
Wolf did
Yeah.
improv.
Well,
at
look, the
Pit.
pit is fine. That's Armin Diaz.
Well, he broke off again and started the Magnet, and Ali Faranakian started the Pit with him.
Yes,
I
he's
get what you're
Iranian,
saying.
and I always speak Farsi to him.
I get what you're saying, which is a very important thing. Of like, yes, it's kids that seem like they're on the spectrum, or they've had a very weird, sheltered life, and this
Oh,
is the
yeah.
one time they're kind of comfortable around
I think improv,
weirdos.
like I did it in high school at 16. And it was like my first tribe. Like,
Yeah.
I just
of,
didn't like
misfit
UCB. I like
toys.
improv. I don't like UCB.
Right.
Let me make that very clear.
No, I mean,
don't-
at no point was I thinking that you were
Yeah.
like poo-pooing improv as a
No.
thing at all. But there is a rivalry between stand-up and improv. We do like look down our noses at each other, and
Oh yeah,
you know what I
you
mean?
don't say it out loud now. You're like,
Yeah.
I started improv, but UCB had very distinct levels. It was people at the top that are like right for Parks and Rec,
Right.
run the classes, are in that. That's another form of a cult. And then there was us at the bottom that were taking classes, trying to get on house teams.
feeding that.
Those
top.
people are good people. We don't run it, and those are people that helped me out a lot and taught me how to be like a non-psycho human being.
Is that true? Like is that where you got some of like your ability to assimilate, live in the world,
Absolutely.
not freak people out?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah, with those classes, and then finding out I don't need to do as much on stage, and how to be comfortable in a moment where you don't get a laugh, and it's like, oh, this will lead to something eventually. Because I would secretly watch Conan growing up, because we weren't allowed to watch TV, so I would just take my homeschool tapes and I would record over those. late night.
I read that on your wiki my brothers used to leave heterosexual porn out for me because they knew that I was going to be gay. And I would.
Yeah.
What? How?
And this, I damn you. And so, these were, damn all of you. And so,
What tipped him off?
so, you know how like VHS tapes had that thing that like that tag that you could rip off.
Yup.
And if you ripped that off, you couldn't tape over it. But all you had to do was put Scotch tape over that tag and you could go back to recording on it. And so my brothers would leave out straight porn for me to jack off to. One, full of dicks. Right? Just teeming
Avert your
with
eyes,
dicks.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Lousy, riddled with cock. And for me. But I would then tape over it with Gem and the Holograms.
Oh.
A cartoon by Sunbow Productions, which was just the most gay-making thing. It was from the makers of G.I. Joe. It was like action-packed faggotry.
and then
Like with a female rock band.
And then your brothers would jack off to Gem.
To Gem and the Hologram. That's amazing.
Because they took the tape back and they're like, all right,
Early
whatever.
Anime
Did you ever get
fetish. They were never allowed to talk to me about it because them even having the porn was, it was contraband.
Yeah.
So they could never bring it up. But I knew that if I snuck
what-
into my brother's room, I could get that episode of Gem.
Once you see that, it is impossible to go back to the drawings. Your brain's exposed to it.
Does porn ruin us?
Yeah.
Yes,
of course,
absolutely.
completely.
I remember
Raph,
a
what do you
time-
think? Does porn ruin us?
I'm gonna say it's a very good question. Certainly do watch a lot of porn. So
Yeah. But do you remember?
also fucked in the head. So
Why I was making this actually? It's like gave me the idea for the glaze. It pairs really well with the citrus, and then you fold it.
I mean,
Very
I
good.
cook for a
Very
living,
good.
So
But do you know how
saying
like
things of that nature.
it used to be able you could get off to something on Instagram. It was like a photo, and then you watch enough extreme
Fair.
porn, and it's like, well, now I can't go back, even though I could basically see everything.
I mean, something I was telling my friend earlier today is like basically the more tired that I am, the more fucked up the porn is.
Yeah.
Because then it's like I don't have time to really like take my time to like
Right.
this is-
Oh, that's very real.
This is very
No,
special,
time
It's a real thing.
you know?
Yeah, you can't build
Yeah.
up to it. It just
Yeah.
you have to go
is
right
a-
to violence.
Which is a crazy thought, you know?
It's a crazy
It's like-
thought, but it is like,
I
yeah.
don't want to hurt people, but it's like
No.
I'm also not going to reveal how fucked it is, but
Right.
we can
Oh
all
no!
imagine.
I watched
to.
violent porn. I watched a violent porn before I came here. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I had to. It wasn't like violent. No one was like punching anyone in the face, but I mean, like, we just had to get to the business.
Rough.
Right.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
was
that's
it?
so funny. Is like them are jerking off like I'm late and like just get it
I'm
out.
late, yeah.
Right.
And it's not this enjoyable thing.
exactly.
Who's that guy that jerked off online? He works for he was in a Zoom meeting and there was like
the CNN guy.
it was like a 10-minute
Oh,
break.
Tubin. Jeffrey Tubin.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
No,
funny.
his
Oh,
name
yeah.
isn't Tubin. His
Yeah.
name couldn't
He was
be
just caught
Tubin.
up.
I know, isn't that like the jerk
yeah,
off
it was-
name?
it was during
It's a
the
sketch
pandemic.
name of like that's
And
old
he's in a
pervert
Zoom meeting,
Tubin.
and It was like a
Seriously.
5-minute break, and he didn't realize the camera was still on.
Oh
So he's
my
just sitting there and he
God.
pulls it out, and they're like, "What are you doing?"
Can I just offer this to the group? I took nudes of myself because I've been exercising for 2 months.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
Yeah, it's like enough.
right?
It's like,
So I was like, okay,
great.
let's see if this did anything. So I took a series of nudes, and then my iPhone turned that into an album called "Lunch in the Big Apple," which shade, right? Like
That's
just stone
incredible.
cold shade. And then
so
it was
good.
like, would you like to send this to all of your friends? I was one thumb swipe from like having to kill myself. If that went out, if Lunch in the Big Apple went to Ryan, I would have to walk into the ocean. I wouldn't like that. Wouldn't be.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be like, yeah.
I mean,
Same, right?
it could have certainly been a good thing. Like,
But I mean, it was good for me to take a pulse. But Jesus
Right.
Christ, I'm not sending it to everyone. It wasn't like artfully done. It was like blah, in front of a full length mirror.
I think it's you though.
Right.
I think if it was like Pete Lee, it'd be like, what the fuck? But you, it's like it's on brand.
There was a singer in a band who accidentally she took like a topless photo and tweeted it out.
What band?
Paramore.
Oh, the Paramore girl.
Yeah.
She was like, and then she just was like, "Oops, haha."
Well, I mean, nudes get out.
That's what I mean
as-
of like everything. If you're ever nude, any device.
Oh no, not again.
fucking bitch. This
That. So
Yeah.
last year when I did that movie, it's like, oh yeah, there's a dick scene. It's like, okay, you're just saying that anyone in the world can see your dick now.
for in perpetuity
Yeah.
until
It's also the
this thing.
first
Not even
job
making
out of the
money on it.
lockdown.
Not well.
you really?
He got one
Not in
check.
Hulu.
I know, but if you're making a buck on it each time, or
No,
something,
I went to
do
a warehouse in
you get
Van
paid more,
Nuys. Yes. Yeah, you get a
Worth it?
nudity bump. Yeah.
What's the nudity
Wonderful.
bump?
$2,300. It's not
Okay,
much.
no, that's
It's
very.
not much.
Let me tell you
Not as
something.
much
This
as
is
I thought.
this
It
is
depends
tea.
on the movie.
This
If
is
I was
tea.
doing Marvel and you're like, yeah, we're gonna see Iron Man's dick pop out, then sure, it would be more. But like a SAG minimum.
A lot of children
it's a
are
SAG
watching
movie.
Iron
This is
Man.
a low budget movie.
Yeah.
Or like
I like the
$4
fact
million.
that they had a meeting to figure that out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's it worth?
What's
I mean, it's
what's
so
it think?
official. This is the one I got sent to me now that I have to sign.
The nudity. Okay.
You wanna read
May
that?
I? I would
Yeah.
love to. All right. Schedule A. See attached script pages. Okay. Episode 107, Scene 2. Scene description. I'm not going to say the names.
Yeah.
They finish watching a movie. Michael's sweatpants fail, revealing genitals. Right? Please note, storytelling will be achieved using rear nudity only, and co-star's reaction as pants fall. No frontal nudity will be shown. Actor will be provided with appropriate modesty garments, and closed set protocols will be adhered to. Nudity description. Scene 2. Full rear nudity, rear buttocks, including side of thigh and waist. For absence of doubt, no below-the-waist frontal nudity or genitals will be shown. It's very explicit.
Do you know what I mean? Where it's
Yeah.
like so matter of fact.
It's
so
angles, it's anatomy.
And when we do a
it's-
sex scene, all the language is in that legal language.
Wow.
That it is the least hot thing you ever do.
Yeah.
Even if you had a thing of like, I like fucking math.
Well, and I
choreograph.
imagine that there are people who are like there are now there are like nudity coaches,
Yes.
like
Yes.
like comfort
nudity coordinator.
coordinators,
Yeah.
who like are on set vigilant to make sure that no bullshit goes down.
How do you tell your friends that that's your job? That is
Oh.
ludicrous.
Right? I don't know.
How do you tell your children that's your job?
I think he's telling them
a
now.
nudity coordinator?
I'm a nudity
No, no,
coordinator.
no.
No, I'm not that, but
I would do
I just,
that.
yeah,
I
do
would
it.
absolutely
And
do
like,
that.
Right.
Yeah, I'd be like, I have to smell this. I have to smell this to make sure that everyone,
Right.
right? I have to smell your dick.
Right.
I
I mean,
have
there's so
to.
much more safety around it now that you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Because you have to with the internet.
Well, and
but
once
in the
upon a
70s, it
time-
was just like, yeah, this is just, it's going to play
That
in
is
theaters
a
for 3 months.
Wonderful thing. To
You know that
comment.
Hollywood used
Oh
to
my
have its
God.
own police force, and that like you know in like old timey movies there would be like big dance scenes with like
Yeah.
I don't know like 60 girls. Like invariably those were 14-year-old girls who would go missing, and Hollywood's like private police force would then like go to the parents and be like, oh, your daughter got caught up in whoring. Like it's best for your family's reputation if you just act like she disappeared. And like they would be raped and murdered and disappeared, and they were underage. And this is the history of film in America. It really, the fuck is.
And they would make him dance, or that was separate? They were
Ah!
saying- That-
No, they would
Wait,
do the
I'm
they would
drugged
do
and
the
I'm
dance
raped and I have
number.
to
They would
dance.
do the dance number,
Yeah.
and then they wouldn't go home.
Moses supposes erroneously big ending. They would do that.
Big
and then,
ending.
And then it's
Big
like, hey, the
finish.
producer saw you and he wants to see you in his office for a 3-picture deal.
Let's all right. We're having a celebration. Yakety yak. Go be nice to the guys. And then
Holy shit.
yeah.
And then she's dead.
And then they're gone. And the
Wow.
parents are like basically told like if you don't sort of disavow yourself from your daughter, then you'll be visited by shame.
Right, because it was her thing. Oh,
Because it
man.
was her.
It's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
History of Hollywood.
It's fucked up. Even where I live, or used to live, I live out here now, but there's like, there's holes in the ground for, I live in Beechwood Canyon, which is the hill that the Hollywood sign's on.
Okay.
It's like living in Times Square. You're an idiot. There's like tour buses going there all the time. And at the bottom, there's these holes in the ground where gates used to be, because as early as the 40s, when people were, anyone that was person of color that was not a white person would have to go below those gates because they had worked in the houses. They would be like a live-in maid or I don't think it was like slaves, but it was like any
Essentially.
worker that was not a white person.
Underpaid domestic. is-
After the sun goes down and these like 4 streets in Hollywood, it's like where Mulaney's house is. You'd have to go below these gates.
wild.
Yeah, and
It's
they would
just
lock them
the
off.
history of this country is a fucking zoo. So
Well, it sounds like you were doing well in L.A., right?
it
Yeah.
caught, right?
Yeah, until the trial.
Well, you're
yeah.
in love. What do you mean?
No, it's no trial. No, I was doing great. Yeah.
So why are you
But,
here? Why'd you move
we
here?
shot the pilot in Los Angeles, and then the
pilot for the
main-
show that you're currently shooting,
and
that
then the
you're
main
gonna do.
actor on that lives out here, and they wanted to shoot it out here, so we have to go. So after I'd signed the contract, I found out I was moving here.
Okay.
Okay, so how long are you here for?
But I didn't fight it because
We're very lucky to have you.
I
I'm
just
psyched.
put out a special. I've been developing a lot of bad habits in stand-up in LA. And
Sure.
I like to work. LA rewards you for just like, you're performing so much.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, okay. in New York is like, get to the fucking joke. Let's
Yeah.
go. I'm a coked up finance bro. Let's fucking go.
It's true though.
And that's what I need more of. So I didn't fight it. I was like, yeah, this is a great chance to work and get better at this thing I really love. Yeah.
Were you dating anyone in LA? Did you leave anyone behind?
Yes, and that's been the hardest part.
That this person.
Yeah, and you spend the lockdown with someone.
Shit.
It's like when people got a dog in the lockdown. You spend all this time. I've been told I should not compare her to a dog, but
No, it's fine. No, people, we can't downplay the value of dogs in our lives.
Yeah.
When you love your dog,
No,
it's
that's
you.
true.
I mean, are you kidding me?
you go through this like 2-year period where you get really close. You spend nothing but time together, and there's like, the world's burning around you, and you get closer, and then. Leading up to the HBO special, I was on the road a lot in very unsafe conditions. So I was like, I'll promise you, as soon as this special's out, we're going to spend a bunch of time together. And then I got this job. So it's taken
Why not
a real
move?
emotional
Why not
hit.
move her? I'm assuming it's a her. Not
She's
to be a dick about it.
she's a working director. She's got a better job than me.
Okay,
so
great.
she can't just upper her life. She's not like some 22-year-old Lower East Side.
How
girl.
many
It's
days
like,
off do you get a week?
It's New York.
Are you one of those people who would hop on a plane and go say hi?
Kind of too, but then there's shows all night. You could do 8 shows.
Oh
a night.
no! This is the
Don't-
wait.
yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
classic pull of comedians of like, am I cheating on comedy with
Yeah.
the person I'm
I
dating?
literally-
if I'm spending too much time with the girl I'm dating, I'm not following my.
How
What
do
did I
I
just
how
tell
do I
you, though?
enjoy myself in
You can't.
Tulum when I know like there's a great show happening?
Ryan
I
just
miss it.
asked me what I'm doing this weekend, and I was like, I'm no longer doing Fridays and Saturdays because those are the only nights that my husband has off, and I have to.
Oh.
I have to give that to my husband, and I don't give a fuck about like a weekend show. What? So I do stand up for amateur drinkers? I don't think so.
Right.
I have burned some interesting relationships to the ground
Really?
over stand-up. Yeah. Well, I mean, when I started in New York, so the only way to get good was to outwork the pros, the best. So
Absolutely.
I think I did 2 streaks. I had 5 years on stage every night, and then I had 7.5 years every stage on night.
Wow.
What did you tell her like when she would push back? Like, hey, we need some time together. We need to schedule because I would
thought I
definitely
had to
take
figure
this
it
right
out.
now.
Well, I had dated a girl who was not okay with it, and we broke up. And the very next girl we dated, the first date, we went to dinner, and immediately I was like, yo, I have a show in 10 minutes, and that's my life. That's where I'm going. You can come with me,
Wow.
but I want you to understand what it is from day one.
Which is very cool at the beginning.
I was like, that's
Oh, they
I would
all
say
said
the
that.
first-
Oh.
They all go like, I
I'm
love that
sliding
you
out of
love
my
your
chair right
job.
now.
The first 10
I'm
years,
wet.
the first decade was 100% like that.
all the things,
Was
all the
100%.
things that are hot at the beginning are long-term enders. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, he's very outgoing. He's charismatic, right? Oh, he's very career-driven. That's very hot when you first meet someone, and then you're 5 years in, and it's like, whoa, what about us? How about being a human being?
They don't take it so well when you're like, hey, I can't go to your sister's wedding. I got a spot at Chiba's.
Yeah, yeah, there are 3 monkeys. They're gonna yell at these 4 drunk
out
people on a
Shana Mason.
pallet, on a wooden pallet. So, what did you?
Wooden pallet is
In the
true.
long run, are you like, I'm happy I did that, or is there a part of you that still misses? Because I'm trying to take you for
don't
direct
fall-
advice right now.
Well, look, there were other problems obviously within the relationship, and when the breakup happened, I was really kind of devastated. Like I kind of lost it to the point where I was like, I should quit everything and just marry her. Like that's how insane I was at the time, and I had to step back from that. And she
Well,
ended
it's imbalanced. The quitting everything to do it that's the other extreme. That's the other disaster.
Right.
I literally was like, okay, I need to be able to have, not even have it. I need to be able to be. I need to be available to have dinner with this hooker 2 nights a week.
Well, look, my decision
Right.
that I didn't do that obviously, but
Yeah.
like in retrospect, she married the next guy, and I mean,
It was disastrous.
I don't know. She's still calling me, so.
Oh shit!
Right,
Yeah,
well, and
But,
she's still married?
but here's the thing. I know her well enough to know that had I married her, she would have been calling some other guy. That's just her pattern. Like it doesn't. I don't think
Okay.
the people.
So she
matter.
wasn't the one.
Yeah, clearly.
Okay,
What
clearly.
comedy's the
what
one?
does he do?
yeah.
Comedy's the one. That's terrifying.
I know it was exciting. Like we're so competitive and we work so hard that when you said I take Fridays and Saturdays off, my first thought was like, oh, one more slot for me.
Yeah, and it is. It is one more slot for you, and that is exciting. And by the way, it's impossible to get a cab here at 3 a.m. on a
Yeah.
fucking Friday or Saturday. So
I got a
good luck
motorcycle,
with that.
baby.
Oh, dip! No, but like that is. That is a reality, but it's like if we all just kind of the same way that you would trust when you don't get a laugh, if you can trust in the process of like, a little bit of building a little bit of life into it, because that's
Yeah.
the other thing is that I found that building life in gave me something to talk about. It gave me
Right.
a little bit more to be conversational about on stage
Yeah.
that wasn't just material.
You have a day off to go to
I'm a
Governor's
person.
Island and see what's there, and then come back and not be
I'm
like,
a
I have to
person.
go,
Yeah.
and do the same thing about. And then
Yeah.
you start doing material about comedy, where it's like, I was told this thing after a show.
Probably my 8th and 9th year were just like me going up and doing like set.
Right,
Do you know what I mean? Like the set bot.
right.
What about being a chef? Is it tough to date in that?
Yeah,
That's a
I was
nighttime
gonna-
thing.
I was going to get into that. So we have just like the opposite schedule. So if you're not dating someone that's like either a chef or like a bartender or like works in the industry, it's not possible. And I mean, it's the same thing as
Are
comedy.
you dating
where-
someone?
No.
Okay.
And it's like the same thing as comedy, where specifically in this city, you just want to be better and work harder than everybody else.
Yeah.
Especially first couple years, like you just need to have an edge. So it's not like that in the West Coast. Like it's
Not
not
at
like
all.
that at all. It's super chill. I did not understand that.
I get very uncomfortable there. Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, like for us, somebody that really wants to make it, like they're coming in at 10 in the morning, they're leaving at 2 a.m. Usually going to the bar after, so you don't really have time for anybody else, and you can't really do like holidays. You can't really
yeah. I can't really promise
Yeah.
you a weekend either. A lot
Right.
of our stuff is like last minute. Can
Right.
you do
Yeah,
this?
yeah, for sure.
Like
And,
like you
yeah.
Monday. It's like, well, I can't fly back. It's like at a moment notice. Monday, can you come do this thing that you care about? Like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, and it's true. And when you try to make boundaries, usually the industry punishes you or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the one time
Yeah.
you take off.
Yeah, you're like, hey, can I have the weekend off? It's like, have the whole fucking week. Ah!
Right. And then the time where you're like, I got nothing to do, then
Yeah.
they also have nothing for
yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the same thing too. It's like if you're taking time off, if you're like calling out sick, like specifically in New York, like
Yeah.
someone will just be like, "Fuck you, I'm going to take your job."
Yeah, someone
So-
someone who will bleed for it will.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so same question for him. In retrospect, being on the other side of it, is there anyone that's like, oh, I kind of wish I would not have spent so much time doing this because I missed that person? Or is it just like, oh, in the long run, I'm glad I'm following this?
I mean, I really love what I do. Like it's almost like a religion.
Yeah.
Like every time I
You're very good at it.
Thank you. And
is very
it's
good.
it's like when I'm not cooking, I'm thinking about food. I'm like researching food. It's something that I like cannot get away from. And when I go on vacation, I'm like fuck this. I want to go back to the kitchen.
Yeah.
So I mean it's I've put in like 8 years now. I was gonna wait till later, but we are in the process of opening on my first spot. So finally,
shit.
That is big.
That's huge.
And yeah, I mean it's the start of the end of my life basically.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like another couple years of not sleeping, and I mean it's fine.
Oh
I
yeah,
just wanna
that's the
do something
most
that's
brutal
great.
first 2 years is trying to
Yeah.
start a restaurant in
Yeah.
New York.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
for sure.
And if
But,
you need something
yeah.
that's like
They make reality shows
inconsequential-
about this.
Right, but
Lusty.
I mean, it's I'm like really lucky in the sense I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna assume it's something very dirty and very funny. But yeah, I mean, it's great because I have a team of like basically all my closest friends that I've like picked up over the years, and it's just like really amazing to like put them in the spot where they can do what they want. And like they can get paid very well, and they're not going to work for some fucking asshole that's like, you're going to do my menu and that's it.
Do you not
So-
want to lose this person in Los Angeles?
Yeah, it's a.
I
Whoa.
don't. I definitely don't. And I want to feel okay about that. And I want to feel also have my cake, eat it too. I want to feel okay about
You have to
doing
fly.
something
You have
that
to
I
fly
love.
her here, and you have to fly over there.
Yeah.
And even
That's
if,
the argument. Is
and
that she's
even if
saying,
it's
I
like
can't just drop my life for you. Everything does work around your schedule.
No, it's
so
like
by me flying out to New York, I don't care where you put me up and this romantic weekend we had. It's still on your time. It's on your schedule.
Yeah.
she's a
really
couple years
tough to
older than
do.
me. She's very intelligent.
she's ready.
Ready, yeah,
to build
absolutely.
a life.
Absolutely, has her own life too. She's not someone that those girlfriends that just exist for you.
Oh,
She
that's
has
the
her
worst.
Full life.
There's nothing more I hate than that.
No, it's
That's
very
the worst.
important that like a person who has a life is with someone
Of
who has a
course,
life.
yeah,
Otherwise,
of
that
course.
the resentment
Right.
and
I
So,
agree with
I'm just going
Mehran.
through
Dump
it.
her.
Yeah.
Dump her.
No,
Cut her loose. She's
that is not
poison.
what I'm saying.
Poison. She's gonna ruin your career.
Oh my God,
it's-
I
Ryan!
love her so much. All this would be easier if I didn't actually at its
But
core
why
really
not?
love
Why
this
not
person.
fly her out
Oh
here
God!
for a
Please
weekend?
be the first
and
person
fly
on the
over
pod to cry.
You,
Cry.
two weekends a month.
Yeah.
One of you goes here. One of you goes there.
Is that
Yeah.
really enough?
Once a
though?
month, a person
Like-
flies.
Like, can you
Yeah.
really date somebody and like truly
That's what she's
love
saying.
them? Like,
For 2 weekends a
Don't,
month.
you,
that's
don't
like-
talk to her. You're
No,
going to embolden her. That's exactly what she's saying.
During the period of a project.
That's exactly what she's saying,
you know,
though. But
During a
you're right.
project, that is normal.
I mean, it's only 4 days, dude. Like 4 out of 30
Right.
ish days. Like, you know, if,
Right.
if
Dur-
I'm with somebody, I want to be with them every day. You know,
But you're
You're
talking about a restaurant that's like resident, and you're going to have to like pour yourself into like a baby in
Yeah.
perpetuity.
yeah.
Ours is a bit of a gig economy, right?
Right.
So he is on a sitcom. He is filming a sitcom during that
He's
period.
fine. Yeah, he's got
during
some
that
flow.
period. There's some sense of like, okay, well, we're just not shooting these days, and usually, and like unions and stuff will like
Yeah.
assure that there is some downtime. So. And it is understood that he also wants to get into stand up more in New York. So there is like a building thing, but I think if you just carve out a little boundary,
Yeah.
get her over here once a month, get over there once a month, rub noses, make it feel nice. That's
Nice.
like, but you have to build it in.
Okay.
It's not something that's just going to accidentally
No,
happen.
but
It is
like-
something that you build.
Even though it doesn't sound romantic, you're like, yes, on the 10th, on June 10th, you're coming.
Do you have an
here.
assistant?
No.
Okay.
Not fancy.
Yeah,
enough.
well then
I definitely
do
should.
that. Do that.
But I
Like
can't
you
spend
have to
money.
build it in. Like you look at your schedule, you're like, okay, this and this. And then you ask her if she's available on particular days, and then you line that up.
Yeah.
And you book the ticket. So it's the kind of thing where you just have to get
Right.
up and go to the fucking airport.
It's doing the sitcom. It's working on the next
Yeah.
special, and it's also trying to do stand up.
massage a
And-
relationship.
Well, yeah, and then I'm starting my own religion, so that really
I mean, I was gonna say.
Let me guess, no name yet.
no name. It's way better. It's called Earthquake right now. I heard that's already taken.
He's the best.
He's so
All right, so
funny.
let's plug some stuff and get him out of here. He's got a full day ahead of him.
Oh
Raph?
yeah.
Variety's
Yeah.
comics to watch, baby.
Yeah. So I mean, there is the restaurants to look out for. I mean, it takes a shit ton of time to open a restaurant. But as far as events that are open to the public, there are a bunch this month, but most of them are closed. If you want to come to an event open to the public, it's on the 15th. It is with 2 different brands. It's called Ithaca Hummus, and then
I know
also
them.
yeah, and then also Grillo's Pickles. It's at Schaller and Weber, and we are doing like a nationwide release of a collaboration for them. So yeah, you know, you can like taste the food after the
We got to
first
eat
parts
his
of press
fish.
release. Also, totally forgot, on the 24th there is a collaboration with this rapper named Kosher Dills.
You're making me insane. There's no way there's a rapper named Kosher Dills.
Dude, he's really good.
Is he Jewish?
Of course.
He's a white Jewish guy named Kosher Dills.
Yeah, he fucking
He went to NYU. He's very good.
yeah, I mean, he like guilted me into, you know, I was
He guilted you.
Yeah.
That's
No,
listen.
I was doing fried pickles for him, which is really easy. And then we were texting the other day, and he's like, "Can you do challah bread too?" And I was like, "All right, I'm Jewish, I'll do it, asshole." But yeah, so that's on the 24th. It's at Cellar Dog, right around the corner. Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna sell food. It's free to go in there if you're good at pool. Have
Plug your
fun.
Instagram.
Yeah, at Chef Raph NYC, and whenever something comes up, it's always posted on there. And yeah,
Way to go,
we're
Rap.
You're gonna
here.
succeed.
Thank you
Your
for
shit's
today's
good.
delicious
We're here.
food. Seriously.
yeah. I mean, if we don't start that cult,
Yeah.
no, we will.
I'm kind of on
We'll
the
have very
border.
good
I
food.
think
We're all
food is a
gonna
good
do
way
this.
in. There's a California cult that kind of started at a diner, and food was kind of
Yes,
the way in. And
yes. What was it? The something salad. The
it was like some hippie restaurant was all vegan
Yeah,
stuff, but the
yeah.
food was actually good. It was
Yeah.
the first time vegan food was good. So I mean, that'd be a great way to recruit people.
Okay.
What do you got, Mehran? Plug some.
I'm just sexually availing myself to the city. Honestly, what is going on? I'm at the Cellar. I work here. I do this show.
Your Instagram?
My Instagram is at the Mehran. But I don't use it. I don't do social media. I'm literally, I married well. I don't have to do any of this.
So smart in 2022.
that is beautiful.
John?
Cheat Day Show on Instagram and TikTok. I'm working on that. I'm working at the Cellar. If you see me hanging outside, say hi.
Yay!
I think the main thing I care about is the first thing I ever directed, wrote. I physically built the set, and obviously it's me performing it. But it's my HBO Max special called Trash White, and put everything into that. So if people watch that,
I'm going to watch that tonight. I love you.
That'd be great.
Yeah, dude,
'cause
I'm
it's
gonna watch
videos,
that for
and
sure.
then
That's awesome.
That special leaves on a cliffhanger where I just start to get into the cult stuff, and that's what I'm out here essentially working on. And on the 14th, if this is out by then, at Union Hall, I'm running a rough version of part 2 of that HBO special.
Brilliant.
It's a great way to guilt them into another special, is to purposely leave it on a cliffhanger. So at Union Hall at 10 p.m., I'm going to run a very rough version about all the cult stuff, part 2 of the HBO thing.
Wonderful.
Awesome, man. You've been a great
Awesome.
guest, man.
You've been
This-
a great guest, Moses.
You can find us
I adore
at
him.
The Cheat Day Show. We also have a Patreon if you want to help us pay for some of this food. The Cheat Day Show. We also have a website, and you can find me on Instagram at RR Comedy, and of course on YouTube. You can catch all the video. All right, guys. Cheat well. Talk to you later.
Later.
Yeah.
Cheat well. Listen to you.
Yeah, that's a good...
Cheat well.
That was like so interesting.
Here I am phoning it in.
Thanks for listening to the Cheat Day Show podcast. To learn more about our show, the hosts, the comedians, our guests, our chefs, and more, visit our website, thecheatdayshow.com. Also, follow along with us on our social media at The Cheat Day Show on Instagram and Twitter. Future episodes can be found in all the places you get your favorite podcast. Our show is also sponsored by the world-famous Comedy Cellar on McDougal Street in New York City's Greenwich Village. Visit ComedyCellar.com for show lineups happening 7 days a week. Later, cheaters.